Yeah, as you can see today, we're going to discuss, talk with some founders about how they went from their initial idea through the MVP stage.
I flew to San Francisco for a few months during the summer of 2019 to just knock on doors and start meeting on investors. I thought that would be a good idea, but it turned out that it was pretty hard to actually get a meeting with anyone, really serious. So Hira's friend was actually hosting with Hira this event at Embarcadero Center, where there was this one famous VC partner talking, and I thought it would be a good idea to join there. And it ended up so that I actually got a meeting with the VC firm after the event, and I was able to build a network out of that one connection that ended up resulting in this 5.6 million seed round with Benchmark as the lead investor.
I think, taking the leap to start a company, it's one of the biggest adventures of your life. And thinking about your track here in the context of your larger life's trajectory and ensuring that the role you're playing is one that's positive, empowering, not just yourself, but also lifting others up. Almost seeing it like as part of the hero's journey, I think can be a really inspiring way to help put things in perspective, especially when you start getting the nitty gritty and feeling worn down by different things that pop up and are just really hard on a day-to-day basis. Always thinking about how you can build others. I think there's a lot of competition when it comes to fundraising, a feeling of it, but at the end of the day, the pie is more than big enough for everyone. And the more that you can support someone and mentor someone and make people bigger rather than pushing them down as you move forward, the more I think full and successful your life can be. I'm really here because Hira took a cold LinkedIn email outreach from me when I was looking for insight into his career and job. And this is, just one example of how you can help people along the way. So always be thinking about how you can build others as well as your company.
How did you get your first customer?
Interesting. Great question. So our first customer story is interesting. So we did an accelerator in New York called Blueprint Health. I don't think they run anymore, but they had a very interesting model where they believed in getting a customer first and then building a product after. And they didn't want you to kind of like, overbuild your product. And so the goal for the program was for us to call up 600 customers in 3 months and try and sell the product. And so it was kind of like a New York style, trading desk where essentially you're supposed to just walk the phone every day and so they helped us create a call script, and we will walk that call script on the call. And then when we get off the call, we'll go back to the leaders of the program and tell them hey, this is why the person hung up the phone on us. And so we'll kind of try to optimize the script, to figure it out. I think what was interesting from that experience was we didn't close any deals off the phone, but we learned about all the objections, all the reasons why people would say no, what people were looking for. And it really helped us to kind of build out our collateral. And what really helped us to get our first customer was the accelerator also had this incredible mentor network. So every day, 3 to 5 mentors who were either healthcare executives, health plan executives, VCs, will come in and they'll choose companies from the cohort that they felt they could help. And they'll have a 30-minute, meeting with you. And so from those meetings, people started introducing us to, people will be like, hey, I play golf with the chief of cardiology at this hospital. And so we started getting those introductions. And the good thing was, because we had on the phone learned about all the things we shouldn't do, when we started to get those warm introductions, we were just much more efficient, and we really kind of knew how to sell them. And so, we got our first customer. We got 4 customers out of that accelerator.
Dr. Sophia, going straight to direct to consumer, right? That's vastly different. So tell us about getting your first customers, please.
Yes. So getting the first customers for me was working my networks, right? So Facebook group, MIT sorority email list, my reproductive rights nonprofit friends that I've been with. So I've been in the reproductive rights movement for 20 plus years. And I know the heads of almost any women's organization in the United States. So getting them to tell their friends, getting them to tweet about it, getting them to put it on their Facebook, getting them to consider putting it on their email list we've always had friendships with the nonprofits. You know, I'd much rather write them a check than Facebook, Google AdWords, or Instagram.
First started testing this out with farmers is my co-founder and I, we offered free consultations to farmers to understand their grant and loan options. And that's how we got our first customers, because they then learned more about us, what we would do. And a lot of times they'd be like, hey, I will totally pay you to help me navigate this space. And that's when it clicked for me. I was like, look, first of all, if I'm going to build a really big defensible business, I need to get over this discomfort I'm having with asking farmers to pay. We need to find a pricing strategy that works for them, that's not predatory, but we need to ask them to start paying for this. But to get in the door, we actually started scaling up this, OG talk to farmers for a consultation to get them in the door. So today, every farmer who signs up with us, the first thing that usually happens is they have a 30-minute phone call. And sometimes it's before the sale. It's usually before the sale. Sometimes it's after the sale, but most of the time farmers have to talk with us for at least 15 minutes before they buy.